All right, welcome back, everybody, to Challenger Podcast. I'm here on a happy Friday, still here in the building, doing our thing as always, taking care of the animals, taking care of the kids. Just finished up a couple podcasts with some Project Reservoir kids, but today you just get the two, OD and Brown. What's up, OD?
Mr. Brown, hello.
What's going on? So, Mr. OD and myself. Been here at the PS28 school for quite a bit. What am I, 18 years? How many years you got here?
17 me, 18 you.
17, 18. You know, we're going to subtract the sub year that we did, so technically it'd be 19, 18. But we're here, and we're still doing our thing. So, Mr. O'Donnell, how was your week, dude?
Very good, man. Had some fun with the kids in science, just like you did. Worked on some reservoir stuff. Trying to get on these people to care about our kids and get back volleyball, and that's an uphill battle. But we keep trying for the kids. I say I'm not in the business of not having answers for kids.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's the predicament we're in right now. But we'll try to make this happen for the kids. So,
listen. If anybody who knows Mr. O'Donnell or OD, as we called him growing up in high school, we go way back. Guy's very even keeled. Temperament, never really gets upset, but as soon as you mess with animals or his students, that's when you get the dragon comes out. But listen, it's a shame. We spoke about this on our last podcast, on one of the podcasts you'll probably see on the site. We had the CO2 reservoir team, and one of the members, Jaden, is a great athlete here at 28 School, and he's super sad about it. I mean, he's been in tears about it. We've had a number of kids in tears about it. These kids don't have a place to go now, a lot of them. So, middle school athletics should be back. Hopefully some Board of Ed members are listening to this podcast or listen to this podcast. If you want to, again, drop some comments, you want to email the board, Jersey City Board of Ed, email them, send them a ton of messages, tell them to bring sports back. Listen, we all understand about budget cuts. Everybody understands that. But there's a lot of things you can cut. You don't cut programs for the kids. And that's kind of the problem that what we're seeing, that the money's being allocated in places that seems to be kind of ridiculous in our eyes. These programs work. Listen, I'm not an expert on anything. Okay, I would say I'm a veteran teacher at this point. I'm an experienced teacher, and I mean, OD, you can kind of vouch for this too. This program works. There's been a lot of programs that come and go. Middle school program works
without a doubt. What we do here is we produce student athletes, and I think a lot of people just assume it's just they're in a gym messing around, and the values that these kids are learning and the extension of the classroom into the gym, the connection with the teachers, you just can't replicate that. No offense to JC Rec or anyone else who would come in and try to run something, but, I grew up in that program.
Right,
and
me too. Listen, Jersey City Rec, I worked for Jersey City Rec when I was in college. I worked for Jersey City Rec right out of high school. I mean, they run some great programs, and it's not about that. It's about, student athlete. And I think you said that in one of the things you wrote. The key word right there is student athlete.
Unfortunately, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we had a kid here. I won't mention his name. He's now an adult, just got married. But the kid was a phenomenal athlete. He came from DR in 7th grade, and he was in a bilingual program, and then he was in Union City for a little bit, and, it came time for SATs, and in order to get that D1 scholarship, he needed to have a certain SAT score at that time, unfortunately. It may still be the case, I'm not sure. And, he kind of fell short on that. He came here. I tried my best to help him in the language arts, high school with some stuff from actually Mikey, who's an Elizabeth teacher. Mikey helped out with that. Unfortunately,
shout out to Mikey Will.
Yeah, it wasn't enough, and he went to community college down South Jersey, did really well in baseball, but this kid was a phenomenal athlete. I mean, we tell you another time of that story. We went to where Union City High School was.
The old Roosevelt Field was there. Yeah, not there anymore, but
that was so just an amazing kid all around, and it was sad.
Can I just talk about that story real quick?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
This is the Project A team program. Okay, was the middle school athletic program. Basically, it was a program where you build your school's team. Basketball, we had softball over years. That kind of got rid of that, but we had basketball, flag football, volleyball, track. Right. So your PS28 will have their team. PS27 has a team, MS7 has a team, 39 school, 40 school, 12 school. I mean, so all these middle schools and all these schools have a team, and then you basically play like tournament style. You have like a short season. You get about 4 or 5 games in your division, and then you go on to the playoffs for about 2 or 3 games, and go on to championship. It's great for a number of reasons. You get to meet other kids in the other schools, and the kids connect with each other. So, but anyway, the program had just started up, so we had this amazing opportunity to work with this young gentleman. Now, this student. Can we say his name? I mean, why not?
Yeah, he would be fine with that.
Mr. Edwin Frias. I mean, maybe he'll listen to this, but big shout out to Edwin because this kid is a class act. You know, one of the best athletes, if not the best athletes to walk through our halls. But besides being a great athlete, he was a true leader of the school. He, always took the younger kids under his wing. One of those new kids that were quiet, he always made sure they were taken care of. So a big shout out to him. But we wouldn't really have known this kid, and I only say that because he was part of the bilingual program. Okay. Not that we don't have much interaction with the bilingual program, but we don't have them in class because they have their own class schedule. But because of this program, we had this amazing opportunity to meet this kid. So let me just jump back to the story that Mr. O'Donnell was talking about. So OD was telling us we went to go see one of his games. He was playing for it's his high school at this time, right?
No, he was in 8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade. So he was playing for this like a club team or something for baseball, and we go see him at Roosevelt Field, which was in Union City on the Boulevard. It's not there anymore. It was taken down. Now Union City High School's there.
It's the high school site now.
Excuse me. So we went to see him play. So we go check out a game. We're sitting in there, and
he was pitching.
He was pitching. So the first pitch, he throws like a wild fastball, like high. And we're like, whoa, maybe he's not as good as we thought. And then, of course, after that, it was like he struck out the side. So we're like, oh, he could pitch. The kid can pitch. And then he gets up to bat. I think he was batting third or something in the lineup. So obviously he's a big hitter batting on that cleanup spot. So first pitch he swings at, strike one. Oh, boy. Then it was like a ball. Then it was like a strike two. I'm like, oh, man, maybe this kid is not good. And then all of a sudden, the next pitch, oh, my God, this kid crushed the ball. I don't even think it landed yet. I think about 15 years later, it's still flying in the air. This kid demolished the ball. And then he went on to bat again, and he hit another double. Went on to bat again, and I think he almost hit for the cycle that day. I think he had a triple, a double. There was no fence there, so it wasn't like he hit a home run. I think he had inside the Parker. But anyway, the kid was amazing, so big shout out to Edwin Frias. He always comes back to the school. He actually spoke at one of our graduations, right? Didn't he come speak to the kids? He speaks to a lot of the 8th graders. He comes in here, talks about leadership, and he's doing his thing, so we're super proud of him. But my point is, none of that would have really been possible if we didn't have that middle school athletic.
And then, even unfortunately, at Edwin's case, coming to the country with no English in 7th grade was a disadvantage. And then even in a high school setting, he was still taking bilingual classes. So I don't know if these policies have changed, but you get a kid like that, and all of a sudden they're sitting in front of a English-only SAT. So how could he be successful in that? But, he just worked his butt off. But, again, it's not – when we get these kids in the gym, they start with us in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They're coming in there as our student athletes. So they need to understand that if they're going to continue at the next level, grades are the utmost importance. You're not going to remain on the team. Then if they want to continue and if they're that elite to be a high school high school going into a college athlete, you need to fulfill those basic requirements, to get that D1 scholarship or D2 or D3. And, they need to understand that importance. The athletic ability is only going to take them so far if they want to, make this something that they can get their education on. So, we set that standard right when they come in. Yep. And it's student athlete, student athlete, student athlete.
Yeah, they know. I mean,
and they get that.
And it's not just our program. I mean, there's a lot of schools out there that we compete against, and I know those coaches personally. They run a great program. I mean, we run a strict program here. We're here to work, okay? If you're with us from 3 to 5, Monday, Wednesday through Friday, you're here to work, okay? We take practice serious. Teamwork, heart, integrity, and character has kind of been our motto since day one. OD and I started coaching for CYO baskets. That was kind of our first coaching thing. Then we coached this ragtag bunch of girls in softball, the Marlins from Washington Park. That was a super exciting, fun year for us. So we started there, and then once the school started having the sports, it was even better for us because now we have our own kids where we're coaching, so that was kind of cool. But all these other schools out there, They do the same amazing stuff that we do. I know for a fact that they run a tight program. They do a lot of student athlete first. They've always done that. MS7 has a great program. Um, uh, um, PS27 runs a great program. These are the schools that are in our North District. But all these teams that we play against, 23 school, 27, MS7. Who am I missing in our division?
Well, my old school growing up, 38,
Oh,
is
38.
known for
I mean,
volleyball.
these guys, these coaches out there, and if hopefully we send this out to you guys and you'll listen. If you want to drop some comments, please do so. But we missed the program. It's great for the kids, and again, we're not making a lot of money off this program. I just want to let everybody understand that we make a very small stipend for an entire season. So it's really there's other programs we could probably pick up for a little extra money here in Jersey City. Not many, because a lot of them seem to be getting cut these days. But this program needs to stay. So. Again, feel free to write emails, send emails out to the local board, Jersey City Board of Ed. If you want to contact the mayor too, I don't know how much help he'll help us with that. I don't know how much is in his hands, but it couldn't hurt as well.
And the situation, just as a background, the resolution that was voted in by our board actually funded the program until December 18th. So we got the go-ahead to start things up. And we were in our second week or so working with the kids, and then one morning we got an email that said cease practices, everything's over with. So you can imagine at that point how many kids went out. Our nurse took the time to go through all the physical forms, which is a tedious process. The kids went out, scheduled doctor's visits, paid co-pays, went out and got knee pads. Probably about 60% of our kids are wearing knee pads. So it was just an investment in the kids, in us, in the program, and the parents, and then you just can't do that. You can't start something up, build the excitement, build the anticipation, have the kids have their goal sets, and then just tell them that's it. So right now we would have been practicing today because we run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's about 8 hours of the kids not being in the gym with their teachers. And yeah, of course we call home and say, all right, go home. But, we're not following every one of our, 40 kids to the house. How many are still on the street? How many are somewhere else, when they should be with us? So, God willing, I pray that none of these kids that are supposed to be in the gym ever get hurt out there. Because that, Jersey City is a tough place. I mean, we need to understand that. And just look around. Absolutely. It's a beautiful place, but it's a tough place. And having these kids, and if you can guarantee their safety and security for a small amount of time with people that love them and a school that loves them around this entire city, get these kids off the street, get them back in the gym, and politics are politics, just leave it out of schools.
Kids out, right?
Leave it out of schools.
Listen, I don't know anybody. I think you could probably take a random survey out there, okay? Don't even take a survey from the teachers if you don't believe us, okay? Because it seems like these days nobody believes us. But don't even take a survey from the teachers. Take some random 100 people across Jersey City, okay? Or anybody in any urban area. And I can guarantee you're going to get over 90% to 99% to 100% of people saying how important sports are for the youth and how important having programs, open gyms for the kids. Even like, some of these courtyards and these schoolyards get locked up over the weekend. There's nowhere for these kids to go. Okay, one of their outlets was these sports programs, giving them a place to be, helping them meet new friends. I mean, we've changed certain lives. They're not going to make a team in high school. They don't even have a shot. They have really zero athletic ability. But you know what? We throw them on a team, too. We put them on a practice squad. We put them in a clinic. We've had people come here, like Mr. Hurley. Coach Hurley has come to help our kids out in basketball. I mean, obviously, he knows the importance of it. He wouldn't have stayed in St. Anthony so long if he didn't know the importance of it. This is one of these Jersey City legends, okay? He would have left. He could have probably worked at any D1 school he wanted to.
Best coach in the country.
Yeah, he could have went anywhere. But you know what? He said the kids of Jersey City need this program, need sports. So, I mean, listen, if you have anything to do at all, if you could do anything about it, write to your councilman, I guess, in town. Send emails to the board. Keep emailing it. Keep sending messages. Superintendent, associate superintendents. You can look all that up. I don't need to bring out names. It's not about that. But we missed the program. The kids, besides us missing the program, the kids need it. So
yeah, none of this was planned. We didn't sit down and try to do a podcast specifically about sports.
Not at all.
You see the passion in us, and you have Mr. Natus here. Well, he's not here now, but this started Mr. Abruzzi back in the day. We have Mr. Kovacs, who is not teaching anymore. Mr. Levine is also one of our coaches. So we have we have a rich history here of athletics and creating student athletes, and like Brown said, this is across the city. Just get these kids back in the gym with their teachers and get them off these streets. That's it.
All right, listen, we're going to try to keep these podcasts rolling. We're going to do an OD and Brown podcast, okay? It's something that we just thought of about 5 minutes ago. Actually, we've been on about 16 minutes, so we were just finishing up some of the podcasts with Reservoir Kids. We were just tightening up, cleaning up our rooms, taking care of the animals and all that stuff, and we said, let's start doing a little Friday sessions of podcasts. So we're going to try to visit you twice a month or so, just do a little reflection about the school where we're at. We love 28. We love Jersey City. We love teaching. And that's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to probably bring some other guests on here. We'll do some interviews. If anybody has any suggestions for us, shoot us up, hit us up, put it in the comment box. We promise that we'll be back to making fun of O'Donnell like I always do on our next podcast. But the strong message that we really wanted to send out this week is student athletes. Project 18 program, middle school sports. So
yeah, kids first. That's it.
Always kids first.
Forget everything else.
Right. Hey, everybody else, enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday.
Be safe.
I'll be watching the Knicks lose tonight. Have a nice night.